Hello from my hotel in Kuala Lumpur. Today I want to talk about my YouTube earnings. I'm going to show you exactly how much I earned my first month being monetized on YouTube. I got monetized toward the end of February, and so my first check was partial February and full March earnings. So it's actually a little more than one full month for my first check. But I'm going to show you the details, how it all works, and yeah, how much I made. And then I'll also show you what I made in April. As of today, it is May the 3rd. And so, yeah, I'm going to upload this video before some of the other videos that I filmed just to get it out there. And so, okay, I will put it up on the screen as well so you can see the details. Yes, let's check first March. So if we look at all of March, I made $405 US on just over 100,000 views. And my first check, I actually ended up getting around $450. So you can see if I change the date range to include February as well, because you need to make at least $100 to get paid out, or you don't pass the payment threshold. So we can see here, yeah, from February as well, $447. I think I actually got monetized in like the last week of February. And so to me, that's pretty good. I'm pretty thrilled, actually. The revenue that I made just off the first month, I was a little bit surprised, and I'm happy about that. It is only a part of my total income. You know, I wouldn't be able to survive on that, and even though it's pretty much my full-time gig now, I'm putting 95% of my time into it. It's not quite yet a full-time income, but to me, it's really an awesome thing, and it's a sign that in the future, you know, by the end of this year, I think I will have a pretty solid income, potentially more of a full-time income. So I make a bit of money as well through Instagram, unrelated to the YouTube thing. This is something I had going before YouTube, because I was a tattoo artist in New York, and I built around 40,000 plus followers on Instagram. And so when I stopped tattooing and I moved over here and started doing YouTube, I figured, how can I earn money from this following still without actually tattooing? And so I still upload designs, I still book tattoos in New York, and I have another artist tattooing them. So I take a cut of each one, and that's like my bulk of my income at this point. So yeah, it's good not to have all my eggs in one basket too. I like kind of diversifying my income a little bit. So let's look also at April here. We can see in April, 506 US dollars. So it did go up, but it's a little bit deceiving because I received a good amount of donations. I received about $170 in super thanks, which gets added to this same revenue. And so it would actually be less than the prior month, or it would be similar. The sad reality of the super thanks is that YouTube takes a 30% cut, and then Apple takes an additional 30% cut if it was done on an Apple device. So if you use an Apple device on the YouTube app, you give somebody a super thanks, a donation, or in their live stream or on the video, we only see a fraction of that. We see about half of that in the end. And so as much as I don't want to discourage people from giving a super thanks, because it still helps me quite a bit, it feels like, damn, you're giving a good portion of that away. And I think YouTube deserves to make a good portion of money. You know, this is their platform, sure, I have no problem with that. But when there's that additional 30%, it hurts. It hurts a little bit. You know, I never knew that before I was a creator, before I actually got the super thanks myself. I would have never known that. How would you know that, right? But that's just how it goes. That's how the system works. You know, I encourage donations outside of this another way. If you're going to donate to a creator and they have like a PayPal link or they have a Buy Me a Coffee link, use that instead. They're going to see most of all of that money instead of a fraction of it. So I don't really put the donation links consistently, but I did have a video during April where I really I plugged, donate. I kind of need financial help. If you guys could donate, and I received a lot of donations. It was very helpful. That 170 was just a fraction of it. I also received donations on Buy Me a Coffee and on PayPal, and I ended up getting around $500 US. So that was extremely helpful. So I thank everybody for that. That was very, very helpful. It got me through a difficult moment, and because I hadn't received any YouTube checks yet till that point, and so I was still living on just my other income. But yeah, that's how it works. And so initially I was in Thailand, and that's where I started vlogging. And then I came to Malaysia, at the end of March. So, yeah, what's the difference in earnings between Thailand and Malaysia? I want to touch on that a little bit because it is a big difference. It's a big difference how much I earn per video. It's not super clear cut, and it's a little tough even for me still to figure out like which place is actually better for the business, because I get substantially more subscribers here in Malaysia and more comments, more engagement, but occasionally the videos earn much less. So let's take a look at, for example, this nightlife video I did. I did not expect this kind of nightlife in Malaysia. Got 25,000 views, and the revenue on that is around $26. So that's around $1 RPM. And the RPM is how much you earn per 1,000 views. So that's around $1, which is very low. That's toward like the minimum lowest end that you ever want to see on any of your videos, but that's considered very, very low. And so let's compare that just to even another Malaysia video, for example. This one, Malaysia's amazing. Will I leave Thailand for good? Now notice how it has Thailand in the title. 24,900 views, around $54 of revenue. And so that's around a little over $2 RPM. Still very low, actually, still very low. I was actually seeing in Thailand closer to $5 RPM on some of my videos, on a lot of my videos. And so let me try and pull up one of the Thailand videos, for example, that, we're seeing some numbers. Let's see. Okay, so here's one. I moved into the hottest new neighborhood in Bangkok, Thailand. 5,725 views. Estimated revenue, $29.50. So nearly, $6, around $5 to $6 per 1,000 views. And so sometimes I only need to then get around 4,000 views on a Thailand video to make the same money as a 20,000 plus view Malaysia video. So it's tricky, but I think just building the channel further, growing the audience more, getting more engagement, that takes a little bit of priority, even though at the end of the day, it's like, this is my livelihood, so I need to also choose things based off of where I can actually earn a living. It's not so clear cut though. As you see, it's a little difficult because I can't get 20,000 views on a video in Thailand. I've not been able to. And I don't often get, some of these videos in Malaysia, I'm getting 200, 250 subscribers from a single video. In Thailand, I'm getting usually 10 to 20. I've gotten 50 to 75, 100, but it's much more rare. And that's because of the English-speaking audience here in Malaysia. It's a big deal. We can see in the last 28 days here, I gained 1,200 subscribers, which is huge. Given my channel size at the moment, like 3,100, that's a huge growth rate. That's a crazy growth rate. 163,000 views for the month, or for the last 28 days. This is huge for my channel size, so I have to be quite grateful of the amount of views that I'm able to get given my amount of subscribers. The general consensus is if you can get as many views as you have subscribers, that's kind of solid, that's standard, that's normal. If you're getting more views per video than subscribers you have, it's considered a very good video. It's a really good thing for the channel. So to get 20, 25, almost 30,000 views on a video with a few 3,000 subscribers is huge. It's considered a huge outlier, we call it. And if I go to my channel and we look at my all my most recent videos, I have a plugin that shows me which ones are actually outliers. And so all of my last videos here, you can see there's a little 3.5 times outlier. It means it's doing 3.5 times that of my average video across the lifetime. So pretty much every single one is 2.5 to 3 times outliers. You would see the nightlife one 10 times, 4.3 times on this one, 9.6 times. So the performance has improved greatly since coming to Malaysia. If only I could get the kind of RPM, the amount per 1,000 views here, I would really be raking it in. I'd be living a good life. But it's just not how it works. They only pay as much as the advertiser wants to pay for a certain type of audience, And in Thailand, I get mostly US, UK, Australia, European visitors, which just pays far more. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and so yeah, it's not so clear cut, like I said, and I'm enjoying building a bigger community right now. I'm not really thinking of settling down in either country. I want to travel, and so I'm curious to see how will these other countries like India, how will the Philippines, how will Vietnam compare? What kind of earnings will I be able to make in those countries? I feel like it will be rather similar, typically, but we'll have to really see. But for now, that's pretty much where my earnings are coming from. In the future, it may only be a percentage of my income, 50% or less of my income, when sponsorships come into play, affiliates come into play. It will only be a fraction of the income. Now, I did get a $150 sponsorship, so we can tack that on to the total as well. And so, yeah, the earnings, they get a little bit higher. I'm getting, occasionally, I got like I comped a free hotel room in Penang, $200 hotel room. And so there is other things coming into play that are making it like more income actually. But it's just beginning, I think. And so, yeah, that's mostly where I'm at. I will do some videos like this periodically so you can see like how things are coming along and how the earnings build over time. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Drop a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you in tomorrow's vlog.